श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। We will chant from 6th verse to 9th verse, 6, 7, 8, 9. रूपकार्यसमाख्याश्च विद्यन्ते तत्र तत्र वै आकाशस्य न भेदोऽस्ति तद्वज्जीवेषु निर्णयः। नाकाशस्य घटाकाशो विकारावयवौ यथा नैवात्मनः सदा जीवः विकारावयवौ तथा। यथा भवति बालानां गगनं मलिनं मलैः तथा भवत्यबुद्धानाम् आत्मापि मलिनो मलैः। मरणे संभवे चैव गत्यागमनयोरपि स्थितौ सर्वशरीरेषु आकाशेनाविलक्षणः। So, having seen the Advaita, that it cannot be any duality, in the 5th verse, so Acharya then katam punaha atma bheda nimittasya iva vyavaharaha ekasmin atmani avidyakruta upapadyata iti uchyate. Now how only one atman alone is then multiple vyavahara. Only if one atma is there, how this multiple vyavahara, empirical dealings are taking place, for which the 6th verse and 7th verse, 8th verse, all those things are explained. So akashasya na bhedah asti tadvat jiveshu. Just as akasha has no difference, because रूपकार्य समाख्याश्च विद्यन्ते तत्र तत्र वै। यथा एकस्य akashaha, यह akasha ekasmin ghata karaka apavaraka adi akashanam alpavatva mahatvadi rupani vidyante tata karyam udakaharana dharana shayanadi samakyascha कठाकाश करकाकाश इत्याद्याः तत्कृताश्च भिन्नाः दृश्यन्ते तत्र तत्र वै व्यवहारविषयः इत्यर्थः सर्वः अयम् आकाशे रूपादिभेदकृतो व्यवहारो न परमार्थ एव परमार्थतः तु आकाशस्य न भेदः अस्ति न च आकाशभेदनिमित्तो व्यवहारः अस्ति अन्तरेण परोपादिकृतं द्वारं यथा एतद् तद्वद् इह उपादिभेदकृतेषु जीवेषु घटाकाशस्थानीयेषु आत्मसु निरूपणात् कृतः बुद्धिमद्भिः निर्णयः निश्चयः इत्यर्थः. So the vyavahara, only one space is there in all. So this is the empirical dealings mein there is atma is not changing and becoming many. So paramartha, all the transactions are not really happening. They are not paramarthatah, akasha is not involved in that way, only support. But then they say the question is, okay, paramarthakrta eva ghatakashadishu rupakarya bheda vyavahara iti. But the pot space, etc. may be illusion. Akasha is not differentiated, accepted. But the vyavahara, empirical dealings which are created by the upadhis, that vyavahara could be real. If we say so, that also is condemned because paramartha akashasya ghatakasho na vikaraha. This ghatakasha is not a vikara, modification of the total akasha, nor it is an avayava, part of the total space. Therefore, the vyavahara cannot be real. That has been said. यस्मात् यथा घटाकाशादि भेद बुद्धि निबंधनः रूपकार्य भेद व्यवहारः तथा देह उपाधि जीव भेदो कृतः जन्म मरणादि व्यवहारः. This why do you call the space in the pot as pot space? Because of pot. Why do you call space in the room as room space? Because of room. So this namakaranam is because of upadhi, and the transaction between them are not real. Similarly, Deha upadhi jiva bheda krutaha janma maranadi vyavaharaha. Janma, marana, etc. is only with respect to body. Vyapadi, upadhi ka janam hota hai to as though pot is born, as though pot is living, but it is only with respect to upadhi, not real. Yatha bhavati balanam gaganam malinam malaihi tatha bhavati abuddhanam atma malino malaihi. Aviveki people, ignorant people think that space is tainted by black color or dust, smoke, etc. Similarly, tatha bhavati abuddhanam atma api malinaha. Similarly, the aviveki people think that atma is tainted. Shuddhatma, ashuddhatma, all those things. They are all ignorant statements. Punahapi etam uktam eva prapanchayati. Marane sambhave chaiva. Mrityu, janma, marana, death, birth, and also Gati Āgamanayoho, going to various lokas after a death and coming back again, staying in one body, etc., etc. Sthitau sarva sharireshu akashayena avilakshanaha. Meaning, the akasha, the which is there, seated in all of them, that remains as changeless and witnessing everything. There is no change in space of whatsoever. This going and coming, etc., etc. is only with respect to upadhi. वहाँ तक हमने देखा. Now 10th verse we will see. Sangatha swapnavat sarve atma maya visarjitaha adhikye sarvasamyeva papattirhi vidyate. Sanghata swapnavat sarve atma maya visarjitaha adhikye sarvasamyeva no papattirhi vidyate. Now, Gatadisthaniyahastu dehadi sanghataha. Now, so बार बार हम the Ghata example we are taking, Ghata, the pot, etc. Various instruments or various parikaras, objects that are created through mud. So, just as the pot example, pot space example has been given, similarly, Gatadi Staniyastu Dehadi Sanghataha. So, there in the example we gave pot, etc. Similarly, body, etc. Sanghataha. Sanghata means it is an aggregate. Let's say there is nothing like human body. Why? It's an aggregate of parts. So, human personality, aggregate. If you segregate the aggregates, there is nothing called as human being. Why? Physically I am talking. Physically human being is not there. What is the physical being? The assembly of different parts, pumped by energy called the prana, sentiated. The sentiency is bestowed by the individuality, bestowed by mind and intellect, functioning, reflected consciousness in the intellect. He is giving the Chaitana, limited Chaitana to the body. So all these are functioning and all of them put together is called a human being, Sanghataha, aggregate. So we have seen already before that also, any assembly part is not meant for the usage of any of its parts. This is the Siddhanta rule. Because any assembly part, one of the parts, suppose 1 to 10 parts are brought together and assembled a piece, X. That X is a total assembly. That X is not used by either of all these them. That is either by 1 or 2 or 3, nothing. None of these parts, 1 to 10, do use the total X. That means if X is created, assembled by 1 and 10 components, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 components, the user of X is other than these 10 parts. None of the parts of the car is called as car. If different parts are assembled, it becomes car. Now, where is car in the car? Nowhere. Because any of its parts cannot be called as car. Steering is not car, brake is not car, clutch is not car, windscreen is not car, wiper is not car, seats are not car, wheels are not car, axle is not car, piston is not car, bonnet is not car, dicky is not car, petrol tank is not car. Every part of the car has its own name, but none of its constituent parts are called as car. So when all the assembled parts have it became a car, a new word used. Some parts, some matter, assembled in a particular fashion, meant to fulfill a particular function, it is called car. Now, who is using the car? The car user is none of the assembled parts. Somebody else is using. Steering doesn't use the car, brake doesn't use the car. So the user is not the assembled parts, one of the assembled parts. Similarly here, Gatadistaniyastu Dehadi Sanghataha, this Deha Sanghataha, Mana, Buddhi, Sharira, all these assembled parts are Swapna Drushya Dehadivat. Now they are all like Swapna Drushya Deha, the bodies seen in the dream. In the dream, you see some different bodies. Dream mein kya hai? The thief also is created by your mind, policeman also is your mind only. And that policeman is running behind the thief. Who is the thief? Your mind. Who is the policeman? Your mind. So all these tamasha that is created in the dream, swapna drushya dehadivat. So they are all dream. They are actually not real. There is no substance in it other than your mind. They are not individuals. So dehadi vat maya vikrita dehadi vat cha atma maya visarjitaha. So dehadi swapna drushya dehadi vat maya vikrita dehadi vat. And it is all maya vikrita. It is all the made up of mind, the maya ka khel. Similarly, these bodies, etc., like dream bodies, this entire variety of this duality, the various bodies, etc., are created by maya. How? Dehadivat cha atma mayaya visarjitaha. These are atma maya. Atma maya means maya, ignorance, avidya or atma maya. The entire your own ignorance is projecting as all this. And the totality level, the total avidya, the maya. So atma mayaya. Bhagavad Gita Sambhava atma mayaya word used in Gita also. Means what? By my own maya, I appear myself on the world scene. Janma karma chame divyam. All that is mentioned. But sambhavami atma mayaya. I appear myself, I take birth myself, I project forth myself through my own maya, atma mayaya. See? Similarly, these entire bodies are created atma maya. It is all maya conjured up, played, projected by maya. What is atma mayaya? Visarjitaha. Visarjitaha means thrown, projected. What is atmanaha maya? Avidya. Atmanaha maya means atmanaha maya. Maya, the magic or maya, the power, ignorance or avidya you take, the power you would call of one's own self. Atmanaha maya, that is avidya, because avidya only projecting. Avidya only is projecting everything. So avarana and vikshepa, these two we speak about it. Avarana and vikshepa. One is veiling, other is projection. These two functions of maya. Two. First it veils, then projects. So, when it is veiling, avarana shakti, maya has two shaktis, avarana shakti and vikshepa shakti. So, atma mayaya means avidya only. What is that avidya? Avidya is not knowing yourself. So, when you not know yourself, then the projection comes. This is beautiful. So, avarana shakti, as Gurudev beautifully says, non-apprehension of reality. So, when the reality is not apprehended, that non-apprehension, one thing, non-apprehension of reality leads to misapprehension. So, non-apprehension of truth leads to misapprehension of truth. Non-apprehension of rope leads to misapprehension of snake. If you see the rope, there is no projection. Why the maya projected first of all? Why there is a projection of snake on the rope? Because the rope is veiled from your perception. When the rope is veiled, automatically there is something rope, but rope is not seen. But there is something, no? Rope is not seen doesn't mean it. The rope is not there. Rope is there, but you are not seeing it. But in the place of rope, something else you are seeing. That is called projection. So this is Atma Maya, because avidya. Ignorance, through ignorance only we are seeing all this multiplicity. Atma Maya, that is Atmanaha Maya Avidya Taya Avidyaya. Taya means by that Avidya. Pratyupastapita. All these are all created, conjured up, established. Prati upastapita. All these things are established. The duality is pratipapasta. Na paramarthataha santi ityartaha. But in reality they don't exist. So it is Maya is making the Brahman appear as many. Actually what is that? Brahmavastu only. Avidya. So therefore, Atmanaha Maya Avidyaya, that is Atmanaha Maya, that is Avidya, Atma Mayaya, Atmanaha Maya Avidya, Taya Pratyupastapita, na Paramarthataha Santi ityartaha. In reality they don't exist. Now in this projection, projecting not only the physical plane, Deva, Tiryang, Nara, so many yonis are created in the universe, in the creation. Upadhis, plenty of upadhis. So many upadhis. Devayo, the Devatas, Yoni, Devatayo, Deva yonis. Manusha yoni, Pashu yoni, Vruksha jati, this jati, that yoni, this yoni. Various lokas. Deva, Tiryang, Nara, so many things. So, in all these upadhis, all are Rajoguna, means Sattvaguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. That is Maya only. All these upadhis are made in the universe, creation. Now about that, Yat Adhikyam, Adhika Bhavaha. Adhikyam. In that projected being, in the projected upadhis, there is superiority. Because Deva Sharira is superior. Or usme Suddha, a lot of sattva is there. So he is superior yoni. It is inferior yoni. That is superior upadhi. This is inferior upadhi. Upadhi bheda. Devataon ka upadhi very pure. So there is superiority. Yet adhikyam, that is adhika bhavaha. Tiryak dehadi apekshaya. Devadi karyakarana sanghatanam. So, from the standpoint of Tiryak Dehadi Apekshaya, with respect to the bodies of animals and beasts, etc., Devata bodies are considered as superior. Devata Shariras are considered as Adhika Bhavaha, Tiryak Dehadi Apekshaya, Devadi Karyakarana Sanghatanam. See? So, this aggregate of the cause and effect, their upadhis, etc., their bodies appears to be superior to the upadhis of animals. This superiority, when compared to... So, in the projected world, you may attribute superiority and inferiority to upadhis. So, that which is superior to this one, superiority, inferiority upadhis, in comparison to devatas and animals, etc. Apekshaya devadikarya karana sanghatanam yadi va or sarvesham samata eva, or if there is any equality also. So inequality, and that is causing superiority and inferiority, or the equality among some upadhis, or even you may consider all these things are upadhi, same one and the same only. You may consider either way, yadiva sarvesham samata eva na esham upapattihi. That means what? Na esham upapatti means there is no valid ground or no possibility to consider that these some upadhis are superior, some upadhis are inferior, because all of them are illusory. That is the meaning. So superiority, inferiority, this bheda is another illusion. Because there is no valid reason or there is no possibility to call certain upadhis are superior, certain upadhis are inferior, because all of them are projected, all of them are Atma Mayaya Visarjitaha. All of them are created by one's own Maya, Atma Maya. Ignorance, that is Maya, ignorance, projecting it. See? And therefore, there is no reason. Yesham upapattihi sambhavaha sadbhava pratipadako hetuhu vidyate nasti. That is what? There is no reason, hetuhu, reason. There is no reason to establish. To establish what? Sadbhava pratipadakaha. There is no reason to establish the existence of these upadhis. See, beautiful thing, no? Why should you struggle to establish something which is not existing, which is created by ignorance, avidya? Now on that day, suppose we believe something, we create differences, then we try to establish, give reason and logic to it. Why one is superior, why other is inferior? Acharya says, Esha upati means sambhavaha, possibility, swapna, not swapna, sadbhava pratipadako hetuhu vidyate nasti. Nasti. Vidyate means nasti. So this sadbhava pratipadaka, to prove the existence, to establish the existence of all these things, there is no possibility, there is no reason. Why should there is no reason that why should we establish all these things, superiority, inferiority, differences, etc. See? There is no reason for us to establish the upadhis, etc. Meaning what? First of all, there is no reason, no hetu, why we should establish, accept the possibility or existence of the various upadhis. First of all, उसका अस्तित्व का ही हेतु नहीं है, तो उसका अस्तित्व का हेतु ही नहीं है, तो कंपेयर करके उनमें कोई कौन श्रेष्ठ, कौन अधम, कौन नीच, इसका क्या मतलब है क्या? First of all, there is no need to establish that these upadhis are really existing. There is no reason, because they don't exist, it's all Maya. Then on that, will there be any possibility to say it is superior, it is inferior? So Acharya says, Sadbhava pratipadako hetuhu vidyate nasti. Indeed, yasmat, since like that, tasmat avidyakrita eva na paramartatha santi ityartha. Since there is no need to establish, there is no reason to establish all these things, तो इसका मतलब क्या है? Why? Because it is all tasmat avidyakrita eva. Therefore, this is all created by ignorance, avidya only, projection of mind, this differences, duality, various upadhis, then superiority, then inferiority, na paramartatah santi ityartha. In fact, they don't exist. In reality, there is no existence of these complexes, or there is no atyanta sreshta upadhi, adhama upadhi. This, first of all, uska astitva hi nahi hai. So, what is the meaning of this? So, in every upadhi, Paramatma Olein is existing. That bhavana should be there as part of our sadhana 24 hours. Sab mein Paramatma hi hai. Sabhi Paramatma hi hai. So, there is no question of this upadhi differences. I don't like him, I don't like this man, that person, this person, but I am spiritual. Yesterday somebody came, so the family came, so they were arguing in a sense, not with me, among themselves. Mother says something, son says something, somebody. So I told him only one thing, that dekho, if neighbors, the complaint is that सबके साथ इसका नफरत है, mother said, नफरत ज़्यादा बढ़ाता है, हाई नफरत सबके साथ. He says, my conscience doesn't permit to talk to anybody, to consider anybody. Why should they do? Mother says, मैंने बात करने के लिए मैं नहीं कहती हूँ. I'm not asking you to talk, but नफरत हटा दो मन से. With neighbors, with people, I don't care him, I don't. So he was reacting. It takes time for me to change. So I said, only one thing. Hare, I am not asking you to talk and all that, but do you feel irritated, uncomfortable, uneasy when you will happen to see them? Yes or no, I said. Oh, yes. Same feeling do you get when you see different people on the road? One, you may not know them, or even know them or may not know them. He said, no. That means nafrat hai ki nahi? Dislike, inimical feeling. और तो बड़ा भक्त है, मंदिर जाता है, उधर जाता है, प्रसाद लेके आता है, प्रसाद सबको बांटता है. हाँ? So I said only one thing. No being should feel uncomfortable with your presence. If you can make people like that, then you are spiritual. That's it. You should not become cause for anybody's discomfort in your presence. That is a sign of spiritual practice, spiritual progress, spiritual thinking. Why these kind of differences? I don't like. Because ignorance. So one sadhana is that no hatred, no gruna, no ill feeling towards any upadhi, devata, tiryang, animal, pashuyoni, manushyon, no aishtata, dvesha, ya nahi to uncomfortable feeling, enmity, I don't like this, I don't like that. And not only that, many people in the world are identified with their physical bodies. Many very exceptional people only are above the physical body identification. So therefore, they hate particular jati or particular gender. I don't like women or I don't like men. This kind of a hatred. I will take birth as a man only or as a woman only. I don't like that. जब तक ये भावनाएं है ना, this hatred towards particular people, particular class, particular upadhi, differences are created towards section of people or section of any yoni, animals, devatariyang yoni, spirituality will never come to you. Your rationality that you apply while living, justifying your actions, stating that I am rational, इन लोगों के साथ ऐसा ही व्यवहार करना है, उनको ऐसा ही करना है, most of the times are illogical. I can see it, but I will not tell it. It's illogical. So, most of our actions, most of our thinking, most of our dealings with people, सभी योनि, सभी में परमात्मा है. फर्स्ट that bhavana, if it is there, first inside, no dvesha, no hatred, तो जैसा जो चाहिए, जिसको जो देना है वो दे दो. माने if he is eligible, it's all okay, but there is no question of hatred in that. Superiority, inferiority complex, so many complexes we create. A sannyasi का भी, sannyasi who is going, they will also ask, आप पूर्वाश्रम में क्या थे? आप भी क्षत्रिय है क्या, ब्राह्मण है क्या, वैश्य है क्या, शूद्र है क्या, कहाँ के थे आप? मैं ऊपर से गिर पड़ा बोलता हूँ सीधा. Then I had to tell them, तो सन्यासियों का ऐसा प्रश्न पूछता नहीं सब बेवकूफ. Why do you want to know? अब मतलब ही नहीं है. So this is affinity. Did you understand? Affinity. We have to cross all this, then see everybody as only expression of Paramatma. Then only the spirituality comes. There may be differences depending on guna, karma and all that, but all differences are illusion, number one. व्यवहार में मानना पड़ेगा, मानो, but there is no dvesha, no hatred, no complex in you. That is a state. So, na Paramarthaśānti, all these differences do not exist in reality. Utpatyādi varjitasya advayasya atmatatvasya shruti pramanakatva pradashanartham vakyāni upanyasyante. Now, Utpatyādi varjitasya advayasya atmatatvasya. That advayasya atmatatvasya, of the nature of non-duality, non-dual nature, Advaita, wherein Utpatti Adi, meaning origination, sustenance, existence, dissolution, ityādi nasti, varjitasya. There is no birth, there is no existence, there is no birth, there is no growth, there is no dissolution. For the Advaita Tattva, there is no birth and all that. It is always existing. So, Utpatyādi varjitasya advayasya Atma Tattvasya, of the nature of non-dual Atma, जिसका उत्पत्ति, जिसका जन्म, जिसका कुछ भी नहीं है, मृत्यु ऐसा, for that non-dual self, Shruti Pramanakatva Pradarshanaartham. Now the Shruti Pramana, the Shruti Vakya, Shruti means Upanishads. There are plenty in Upanishadic literature, this Advaya Atma is pointed out. So these sentences, Vakyani. Vakyani means not a simple sentence. A sentence which means something is pratipadanam, pratipadaka. Something is pointed out, something is told. So such kind of Shruti Vakya, some declarations of regarding the existence of non-dual nature of the Atma Tattva. The Vakyani, Upanishadic statements are reiterated, Upanyasyante, they are quoted, no, they are referred here. Because Shruti Pramana also is required. So Shruti Pramana, in entire Brahma Sutras, there are many Upanishadic Vakyas are taken up, and these apparently or the seeming contradictions between these Vakya Bheda. So many Shruti Vakyas appear as though they are contradictory. श्रुति में ऐसा एक जगह पर ऐसा कहा गया, exactly contradicting to it somewhere it is said. So all these things are resolved in Brahma Sutras. So there is no question of, because we are not getting those doubts because we have never studied Vedic Vedas or Upanishads systematically with understanding the entire thing, then completely digested. Then we also get confused that वहाँ पे उस श्रुति में वो ऐसा कहा गया, इधर ऐसा कहा गया. So they are to be resolved. And some places, the actual meaning of the Upanishadic Vakyam statement are to be analyzed, understood. So, sometimes some Vakyas appear to be incomplete. So, how do we resolve all these things? So, Acharya Brahma Sutras, in that entire literature, their work of Brahma Sutras, so we will see. So, here also, Upanishadic statements are quoted. Upanishads is quoted to prove the existence of non-dual nature of self, which has no birth, which has no growth, which has no death, etc. Rasadayo hi ye koshaha vyakyatas taitiriyake teshamatma paro jivaha kam yatha samprakashitaha rasadayo hi kosha vyakyatas teshamatma paro jivaha kam yatha samprakashitaha. Now this started. Now again the Upanishadic, Taittiriya Upanishad is quoted. We have seen Taittiriya Upanishad exhaustively. I think very exhaustively. We have studied Taittiriya Upanishad. So, Brahma Sutra is Acharya Bhāṣya, we studied in Taittiriya Upanishad. So, in Taittiriya Upanishad, in that Valli, what did we see? We saw first Panchakoshas. Before we go to Bhāṣya, I am talking. Panchakoshas were told. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Annarasamaya, all that we saw. And we also saw each kosha is constituted by 5 parts. Shiraha, Madhyabhaga, Puchyam, Dakshinaha and Uttarabhaga. Ayam Uttara Pakshaha, Ayam Dakshina Pakshaha, all that. 5. So, Annamaya, Pranamaya and Antarenata and all those things are एक कोश के अंदर दूसरा कोश के उनको तीसरा कोश, one within the other. But one within the other means it is not like becoming minute and smaller, but one is subtler and therefore more pervading than the external one. So we saw in that koshas, all the 5 koshas. Then we went to that Annamaya, Pranamaya, Vijnana, Māṇḍukya. Anandamaya to Brahma Puchyam Pratishta. Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha mein Uttara Paksha, Dakshina Paksha, Shiraha. Then my central part. Then Puchya, the tail. Brahma Puchyam Pratishta. So there we have studied that the Anandamaya Kosha is full of joy. That joy which is experienced in Anandamaya Kosha, is it Brahma or not? So this in Anandamaya Adhyadikaranam in Brahma Sutra also, exhaustively this is pointed out. The Purvapaksha says, and what is Uttarapaksha? So Anandamaya Kosha, the Brahma Puchyam Pratishta, that bliss of Anandamaya is Brahmavayam Maya bliss or not. So there it is entire studied that exhaustively. The bliss is not original, but it is the Brahma is outside the purview of the koshas because he is not a kosha. He is not a sheath, what is covering. So that all that we saw. Now here, what is that pointed out in this sloka is that all the 5 koshas, one is the physical is grosser, the prana is subtler, prana is grosser, mind is subtler, mind is grosser, intellect is subtler, intellect is grosser compared to Anandamaya kosha. That is also outside grosser because it is not Brahma. So Brahma is beyond Panchakoshatita. Now in that all the 5 koshas, that Atma Tattva, who is seated there in the Anandamaya kosha, Jiva, is none other than Atma. He is alone Brahma. That is how in the second day Valli we saw that Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma Yo Vedanihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman Sostute Sarvan Kaman Saha. So that Brahma is there. He is Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. That inside. This is not Jiva. Because Jiva is only Brahma with respect to Upadhi. Like space with respect to pot is called as pot space. But actually there is nothing like pot space. Separately from, existing separate from the total space. So there this, in the entire koshas, the Atma Tattva is there. That is illumining all the koshas. That was pointed out. So, this here in this sloka, All the koshas have been explained in Taittiriya. Rasadayo hi koshaha vyakhyataha have been commented upon in Taittiriya Upanishad. Tesham atma paro jivaha. Tesham, among all these koshas, one who is seated is jiva, is none other than Supreme Being alone. Jivaha. Kam yatha samprakashitaha. And seated there, he is Atma like Akashavat is Sarvavyapi, that Jiva, and he is illumining, creating and illumining all the 5 koshas, 5 tattvas, everything. So that has been pointed out. So, Rasadayo Anna Rasamayaha Pranamaya iti evamadayah koshaha iva koshaha asyadehe iva uttarottarasya apekshaya bahihi bhavat purvapurvasya vyakhyataha vispashtam akyataha Taitriyake. Taitriyaka Shaka Upanishad Valyam Tesham Koshanam Atma Yena Atmana Pancha api Koshaha Atmavantaha Antaratamena Sahi Sarvesham Jivana Nimittatva Jivaha Kosau iti yaha Parayeva Atma Yah Purvam Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma iti Prakrutaha Yasmat Atmanaha Swapnamayadivad Akashadikramena Rasatayah Kosha Lakshanaha Sanghataha Atmamaya Visarjita iti Uktam Saha Atma Asamavihi yatha kham tatha iti samprakashitah atma hi akashavat ityadi shlokaihi na tarkika parikalpita atmavat purusha buddhi pramanagamya iti abhiprayah. So this Upanishadic analysis in that particular portion Acharya mentioned. This we will study tomorrow. How the koshas are, and then how ultimately Acharya says this is not Atma as imagined by logicians. It's not buddhi kalpita. What is their siddhanta, why it is all? We can see little bit, not much, then we can proceed tomorrow. Last day for this month. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.